How many of you guys enjoyed the State of Decay franchise? The Xbox 360 original one and the Xbox One State of Decay 2. Even though State of Decay 2 had some serious bug issues at launch, but I do feel that the studio has come out there and they have made up for it at this point. What's going on, you guys? Gaming Ad here, coming at you in another video. Today we'll be talking about State of Decay. You guys know, if you've been following this channel, I have a couple videos talking about the franchise. I enjoyed it. State of Decay has always been one of the, Xbox titles that have appealed to me the most. I love a good zombie game. For those of you that's wondering, if you don't know what State of Decay is, State of Decay is pretty much a survival game built in a zombie apocalypse that a lot of people have been enjoying. State of Decay 1 came out in the 360 that was wildly successful. I remember so many people was hyped for State of Decay 1 because of the huge amount of people that fluctuated that game. So when people saw State of Decay 2, they got mad excited. It's made by Undead Labs. It's not anyone's surprise that I do feel, and maybe you guys can, tell me in the description below, but I do feel like Undead Labs got a little bit they have to prove. Undead Labs not necessarily are messing anything up to a degree, but I will say State of Decay 2 came out a decently buggy mess that I can understand where a lot of people was like, look, I enjoy State of Decay, but I got to see them push to the next level. Then we got State of Decay 3. Now, it was announced a couple years ago. I was actually at E3 when it was announced, and this was one of the games that caught me off guard entirely. State of Decay has always been one of the games that I kind of felt like, with what happened with State of Decay 2, I was unaware if this game was going to get a sequel. Undead Labs could definitely be a support studio. There's a lot of scenarios that they could take them away from the State of Decay franchise. But one thing I will say is Xbox has done a good job at nurturing these games and giving them the opportunity to flourish and do something different. State of Decay 2 was probably developed a decent amount under their own independent, development cycle. I'm not saying it didn't have Xbox at all, but I will say that out of all the games that Microsoft has bought, State of Decay is probably one of the few that actually had any backing from Xbox in general. Sure, I would say it was funded a little bit by Xbox, but I don't think it was funded to the degree that a first-party game would be funded. So let's go over here to, let's talk about what's going on with Jez Corden. Now, Jez Corden has been very vocal in the past about how he feels about the State of Decay franchise. He's been very vocal, saying that he enjoys the franchise and he's really expecting the game to look good. Let's pop over here because I do want to go back because I do think that there was a lot of rumors, and I think we can all admit this. There was a lot of rumors saying that the game was in development hell and it wasn't looking good. I can say that I know certain things on my end, that there was a lot of issues going to the State of Decay franchise in terms of State of Decay 3's development cycle. But I haven't heard nothing in a long time because a lot of the people that I talked to have left the company. So I don't really got a lot of connections over there anymore. But let's pop over here, man. Let's pop over here. This is Jez Corden. Now, he said this in May 11th of 2024. I'm going to go ahead and listen. It's only 19 seconds long. I'm going to listen to the whole thing, then we'll talk about his statement that he said back then. Because I do think it's relevant to see exactly the trajectory that's went down when it comes to State of Decay 3. And here's Jez Corden on May the 11th, 2024 on Xbox 2.
On some of the stuff that we've been waiting a million years for, like State of Decay 3, which I've heard is coming along very nicely. And I know Jeff Grubb put out there that, I heard Jeff Grubb put out there that Perfect Dark isn't doing that well. Well, I'll put out there that I've heard State of Decay is doing very, very well and looks very, very, very good.
So as you can see there, that's the first thing that we're going to look on to. Let's dissect that a little bit. All right, Jez Corden pretty much said he has heard of last year the State of Decay was doing better. I will say that is far out of the range where I would have heard anything. I haven't really heard anything in terms of State of Decay in a long time. Now, he did say, which is interesting, that Jeff Grubb said that he's heard that, Perfect Dark was not in a good position, which I do think this was, I don't know. Like, to me, we saw that perfect. Did they show Perfect Dark this year or last year? Like the gameplay portion. I think it might have been this year at the the June showcase. So if that's the case, maybe Jeff Grubb was wrong on that particular situation. Because to me, unless he's talking about after that showcase, Perfect Dark, the gameplay they showed in terms of the first person aspect, because that's how you know that Perfect Dark came out there swinging. Just like Indiana Jones, which turned out to be a good game, a lot of people thought that they should do the Perfect Dark scenario where they do that third person as well. I was one of them because I feel like that we need more third person type of games on the Xbox platform. A lot of people disagree, but that's fine. We can have a variety of everything. First person, third person, RTSs. That's what I like about the Xbox brand. A lot of people felt that, but when it comes to the actual title, people saw that gameplay and they shut up. So when it comes to State of Decay 3, he's heard back in May of this year that the game was looking solid. Now, keep in mind, we did see more in terms of the June showcase of State of Decay. We saw actual like snippets of gameplay, and it looked good. It looked good. You know, we saw new improved juggernauts. We saw new improved screamers. Clearly, the game is well under development, and I think we're going to actually see probably more next year when it comes to this particular game. The next thing I want to show you guys is I want to show you the incidents where Jez Corden has came out, and he said that Xbox was considering releasing State of Decay next year, but it's looking like at the end of the day, they're going to go ahead and push it back. I don't know if it's from a development process or they have too many games that's scheduled to come out in 2025 and they don't want to cannibalize each other. Or maybe it is GTA 6. You know, we don't know when GTA 6 is coming out. And I will say GTA 6 will just suck the life out of any game around it. So you probably want to avoid that game if you have any chance of doing it. So let's go over here. This is the Xbox 2 plus 2. Xbox plus 1, plus 2. He's crazy with these names. Jez, John, and Luke recap this year in Xbox for fun. I will have this in the description below. I'm only going to show you guys about 20, 30 seconds of it. So definitely go watch it, man. Jez, when he speaks, people listen. There's no denying it. He's got some pretty good people on this panel. I think you guys would be, appreciate going and looking at this. But let's jump over here.
Although I will say this, I did hear as well that they were considering State of Decay 3 for 2025 as well.
Really?
But I think
that'd be a surprise.
Yeah, so it's closer to being finished than you would think, but I think they are going to let that one slip to 2026. But I would I would bet money that's a 2026 game, like early 2026.
What a lovely world we live in now, right? As an Xbox fan.
So as you can see there, like I said, he has heard that it was going to be a 2025 game. Now, I do think Xbox is getting into the situation where they have so many games that is up for release, and they have so many games of development that can be released at a certain aspect of the year that they need to space them. They need to. The only reason they wouldn't is because that they physically can't switch that game out. Xbox just has too many games. They have way too many games in development. So when it comes to this, you got to space them out or they're going to cannibalize each other. Now, some of them can, obviously, if you have like an RTS, like, the RTS games with you guys know what I'm talking about. The one that Relic Games and them help make. When it comes to this stuff like Age of Empires, what it's called. Age of Empire, obviously, you got something like that. That's not going to really eat too much into like an Outer Worlds 2 type of thing. So I think people need to understand when it comes to something like that, those type of games can exist side by side with each other. But when you have something like the Outer Worlds or you have something like Fable, these particular games, not so much. You're going to want to stick to one particular title or the other because you don't want to push out too many games of have similar audiences out with each other. Grand Theft Auto is a different story. Grand Theft Auto 6 is a phenomenon. Grand Theft Auto 6 is a colossal titan. You don't want to mess with this game. You want to stay away from this game. In my personal opinion, maybe you guys can put in the comment section below, but you guys I feel like you need a good 2 weeks. Good 2 weeks before this game comes out. Don't release this game the week before. I don't know. Maybe if it's a small game, you can release it the week before. But after this game comes out, GTA 6 is going to have the story for probably 2 weeks. They're going to probably have, whatever multiplayer iteration that they have with GTA 6. And I would say that would be 2 weeks or two, maybe even a month. And then after that duration, then what they're going to do is you're going to have a lot of issues going on with the multiplayer. They're going to patch those out. Then that's when the official timer starts. Maybe it's 2 days into the cycle. Maybe it's a week into the cycle. And then I would say they'll have their own form of, whatever they're going to sell that multiplayer on. Maybe it's the heist that they did for GTA 5. I think a lot of people really enjoyed those heists. And then that's going to be probably a month. So you got probably 2 to 3 months that you want to avoid GTA 6 at all costs. 2 to 3 months. Now, obviously, you guys can disagree in the comment section below, and that is okay. But to me, you want to stay away from that game. That's why State of Decay is probably getting pushed back, because normally you would release something like this around that type of the year, because GTA 6 is a holiday game. Now, obviously, GTA might get delayed. There's a big possibility of that, and it might be 2027's holiday year. But to me, when it comes to something like this, Rockstar probably don't even know at this moment. They're probably still keeping their ear to the ground, seeing if they can actually get the product out to their quality by next holiday. So they probably don't know, and if they don't know, there's no way Xbox don't know. So that's probably why Xbox and PlayStation and Switch are keeping a lot of these next year release dates close to the vest. If you look at something like Fable, we don't know a release date. We don't know a lot of the later end of the year release dates next year. And keep in mind, we have an Oblivion game that's rumored in development. I'll probably make a video on that in the future sometime. There's a lot of things going on with Xbox. And in terms of State of Decay 2, I'll probably make my own video on what I want from a State of Decay sequel. And I'll put in the comment section below if that's something you guys would be interested in. But I'm excited. I'm hyped. State of Decay 3, I feel, is going to hopefully take all the criticism that they got from State of Decay 2 and apply that State of Decay 3 and make a really good, solid game. That's my hope for the game. But anyway, tell me what you guys feel in the comment section below. I'm always curious to hear you guys' opinion. You can always like the stream. If you enjoyed this video, you can always sub to the channel. We make content on here pretty regularly. Throughout December, we took a little bit of break, but we're going to pick up real big in January. Addict Arena, down in the description below. It's my streaming channel where we react. We have interviews. We play games. It's a community channel, man. That's going to be picking up a lot more in January as well. Got a lot of things over there that I got in store for you guys. But until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. Man, I hope you guys enjoy State of Decay 3. I might stream State of Decay 2 on the Addict Arena. You guys have a good one.